What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing good. I got a question the other day, or it might have been yesterday, of what I think is the best budget. Let's do this so we can color grade our stuff. What I think is the best budget YouTube camera. Moto Alley is who I got the comment from, and he said, "We know you like the T3i, we know you like the SL2, but what do you think is the best budget YouTube camera?" He's coming from a Sony ZV-1F, which is a great camera. Definitely quirky to use, and he said he didn't like the battery life in the ZV-1F, which is, when I had one, that was one of the issues that I had with it, that and the autofocus. But the ZV-F is a good camera. It's a good way to get into the S-Log world. It's a fun camera to use. It's tiny, but maybe not the best for everybody. And he wanted to know what I thought was the best budget YouTube camera. Now, I do love the T3i. I think that it is an incredible learning tool. That's what we're on today. I'm also in standard color profile, so no color grading other than probably white balance correction. I'm editing on, I'm trying to learn shotcut, so that's why I'm doing that. Filmora keeps, anyway, I think the T3i is a great budget camera for sure. I mean, you can get them for $100. I've got focus peaking, I've got vector scopes, I've got zebras, I've got audio tools, crazy audio tools. I've got all this stuff with Magic Lantern. Love the T3i. It does have one big con, two big cons. One, it gets hot. Two, no continuous autofocus in video. So and I also love the SL2. I almost got ahead of myself there. I also love the Canon SL2. I had one up until a few days ago. Well, actually about a week, and I've got to dispute eBay for that in just a second. But anyway, put it on eBay. It sold really quickly. I love the Canon SL2. That's definitely my recommendation to somebody who's never used a camera before. It's incredibly simple to use. You get great looking footage, great sounding audio, great autofocus. It's a nice little camera. It's a DSLR. I am a DSLR guy. I don't really like mirrorless cameras. And it's just, I think, my age. I think it's, I've got big hands. I like to shoot film cameras. To me, the DSLR feels more like a film camera. Mirrorless cameras are just tiny, and then they get hot, and then the batteries go dead, and I don't like mirrorless cameras. So, and I'm a Canon guy. You've probably learned that already in this video. So my pick for the best budget YouTube camera is the Canon 80D, and I think it's honestly one of, let me just get it while I'm talking about it. I think it's honestly one of the best cameras ever made. I think the 90D might be the best DSLR ever made, but it's about $400 more than what you can pick up an 80D for. Now, I picked this up locally from a pawn shop for $199, but that's about $200 cheaper than what you're going to find it on eBay, and this is exactly how I run this thing. When I need a camera to just press record and go, because on my other channel I kind of do like I'm doing in this video, just pressing record and talking. Those videos do better than any other style of videos, and they're easier to make and they're more fun for me. So sometimes I need a camera where I just press record and talk. That's when I grab this, and it has never let me down. You've got dual pixel autofocus in video, no in-body stabilization. I don't need it. I shoot from a tripod. You've got different codecs that you can shoot in, so you can shoot in a big file size 1080, or you can shoot in a small file size, which is actually what I use most of the time, because some of my videos can get pretty long and they don't look that bad in the little bitty tiny, I think it's 24 megabits per second in 1080-30. It don't look that bad, but you've got dual pixel autofocus in video, you've got great preamps, you've got audio metering on the screen. So what I'm talking about there is right here. As I'm talking, you can see the audio right there. If something happens and this mic gets unplugged, I know instantly. And where the mic is, you can rotate your screen and it not hit the mic. That's one of the big cons with the SL2 and the M50 is I ruined the mic ports. The SL2 that I just sold, it was loose. On the body itself, you've got a mic port, a headphone jack, you've got a remote port, like if you want to run a remote like this, like what I'm using for the T3i, with like a noisy lens like the Sigma lens. You've got a remote port, works great. You can put it over in single point and run it like this. You can also use it for what people use remotes for shooting photos. You've got the micro HDMI, you've got the little AV, you've got your power button over here on this side, and then you've got a selection wheel. So there's your power button. Then you've got a selection wheel for your photo or video. So I do like that. I like that I can leave it in video. When I turn it on, I know it's ready to go. You've got your menu. Canon menus are great. You've got info, so I can change the stuff that I'm getting in the live view there. I've got my Q button there, and I've also got a touch screen. So I can do whatever I need to do with the touch screen. It works great. You've got a play button, you've got a wheel on the back, a set button, and then you've got trash can. Your memory card is on the side, which I much prefer. That's one of the big reasons why I love the T3i, is because the memory card is over here. Magnification and exposure button right here. Your stop and start for your video right there. I prefer that too. And then up top, you've got your selection wheel over here. Then you've got all these buttons right here that all do different things that allow you to really control the camera without really getting too far into the menu. So I like that a lot. This thing for photography, shooting JPEGs. I don't really shoot a lot of raw photos. If you nail your settings in camera, if you don't want to pay the Adobe subscription, shoot JPEG. But if you're shooting JPEG with this camera and high speed, this is how fast this camera is shooting JPEG. So it's kind of ridiculous. It's going to shoot as fast as you can possibly need it to shoot JPEG. It's a beast of a camera. The battery life too is fantastic, and if you get a battery grip for it, try to get the Canon battery grip, because that's why I don't have a battery grip right now, is because I tried to save some money. I got a third-party battery grip. Not only did it quit working, it somehow messed my batteries up to where now that they don't show fully charged. So definitely go Canon battery grip, Canon batteries, if you can help it. You've got so many custom features, it's kind of crazy. This is a camera, if you buy it now, I don't think you'll outgrow it within 3 or 4 years. This is still, and mostly I just leave this thing at auto white balance and auto ISO. That's how I've been running it for all year, really. When I need a camera that I just want to press record on and not fight, I just have this kit right here with the little 10 to 18 on there. I put it down to like F8 and auto white balance and auto ISO. Make sure my mic is good, make sure that the autofocus is on me, and I go. This is an incredible camera, and I think for around 400 bucks you can pick one of these up pretty easily. If you're patient on eBay, you can pick these up for $250 to $300. And I honestly think 1080 is fine nowadays. Most everybody watches stuff on their phone. You don't need 4K. I don't. I don't need the giant file sizes. I don't need that extra resolution. I'm not punching in. I don't do retention editing. I honestly hate retention editing. When somebody starts that kind of stuff, I just turn it off. And I've tried it before. You've probably seen a little bit of it on this channel, but I hate it. I'm just a little too old for that type of video. You do have 1080 60, so you do have some slow motion capabilities. Now I think the 1080 60 you don't have, let me check really quick. Yeah, so it's the standard IPP. You don't have the small file size option with that, but with the 1080 30 you have a small file size option, and then in 720 you have a small file size option. Everything else is going to be up at around, I think, 70 megabits per second, which is a pretty good looking image. And also your high ISO, you have some high ISO noise reduction in here. Doesn't look great, but you can comfortably run this camera in most circumstances up to about 1600 ISO for video. Now it's going to get a little noisy, but it's also going to be way better than other cameras, or especially your phone in low light. This is going to be what I would recommend for somebody who needs to cover subjects, who's not making a super optically pleasing video. Now there's going to be better cameras for those types of videos, but for somebody who is doing things in their video and not making a video about making videos, this is the camera. This is a beast. It's a tank. It never gets hot. I've made entire 20-minute videos with the battery on 1/4. So the battery's going dead. When the battery on the T3i gets to half, I need to be looking for another battery. It's a fantastic camera. Check it out if you're looking for a budget YouTube camera. And let's just switch over to it now, and I'll show you the difference between this setup and the Canon T3i with a questionable white balance and a Sigma 18-35. So that's probably a little bit shocking, the difference in the two images. But this is the 80D. We're in auto white balance and auto ISO with my lens down at f11. And right here, this is 1600 ISO, so it doesn't look awful. I could probably open my aperture up just a little bit. That's another thing. You can control this camera while it's recording. So if I needed to, say, change my mic level while I'm recording, that's me turning it way down. Could raise it back up while recording. See my levels right there. I can also change my headphone volume while I'm recording. You can change your ISO. You can change your aperture and shutter speed while recording. That's a pretty phenomenal camera. And again, this is an auto. This is at 1250 ISO. I guess I could open it up big time. And standard color profile with the light IPB file size, which I think is about 24, I'm going off of memory, 24 megabits per second. The sensor is 24 megapixels. So if you're shooting photography and you need to punch in a little bit, if you need to adjust your crop or your framing or anything like that, you can do that with 24 megapixels. If you can't make it work with 24 megapixels, I would, instead of buying a new camera, focus on shooting better. 24 megapixels is plenty, I think. Some of the stuff now, the 6K open gate, 50 megapixel, all that stuff, the computer that I have can't handle it. And I'm not going to spend $3,500 just to be able to edit a YouTube video. With this, I can use my old Dell Latitude that was an old school computer that I threw in some Amazon RAM in and an Amazon SSD in. I can use that computer to edit this stuff with, you know, the old version of CapCut or Wondershare or Shotcut, and it not hiccup any, and I can build multiple layers with this footage and it not bog my computer down. So that's why I like to use these old cameras. But that's my pick for the best budget YouTube camera. I'm gonna shoot these birds one day. It's like every time I come out here and I start talking, that bird starts going off. But see you guys later.